The Lumerians had no home. Their planet had been destroyed long ago by storms of radiation. Fires had burned their forests, oceans had boiled away, and the ground had cracked into deep black canyons. What remained of their people now drifted among the stars, alone and forgotten. They were small, thin creatures with smooth, pale skin that reflected the light of distant stars. Their eyes were large and dark, and they could see better than humans in low light, but that did not help them now. They had no strong ships, no weapons, and no friends in the galaxy. Other civilizations had passed them by for centuries. The Lumerians were not strong. They were not rich. They had nothing anyone wanted. Inside their fleet of old ships, the air was always heavy. The hum of damaged engines filled the metal corridors, and the lights flickered on and off. Children cried quietly in the dark. Their parents tried to comfort them, but there was little hope. Every time they sent a signal for help, no one answered. Every time they drifted near a space station, the authorities turned them away. They were ignored because the galaxy had no reason to help them. Eri, a young Lumerian girl, watched the stars pass outside the cracked viewport of her ship. Her small fingers pressed against the glass. She had never known the sky so full of emptiness. She had never known warmth or safety. Her people were scattered, hungry and scared. She wished someone would come for them. She wished someone would care, but no one did. Until the signal reached Earth. Far across the galaxy, the humans were listening. Captain Aaron Brooks of the Aurora Dawn was in the bridge of his ship when the alarm sounded. The ship was a human exploration vessel, not very large but strong and fast. It had a crew trained for long missions in unknown space. Aaron had seen many strange things in his life, but the signal that came through made him pause. "Sir, we're receiving a distress call," said Lieutenant Laura Bennett. She was human, young, but very sharp. Her fingers moved quickly over the console as she decoded the transmission. "It's old, very weak, but it's still coming through." Aaron leaned forward, reading the message. It was broken, messy, and not very clear, but the meaning was obvious. Someone was begging for help. Someone had been abandoned. "Who is it?" Aaron asked. Laura shook her head. "I can't tell exactly. The language is strange, not one we've encountered before. But the tone, it's desperate. It's been ignored for decades, maybe centuries." Aaron's jaw tightened. "Set a course. We go to them." The bridge went quiet for a moment. Kyle Turner, the ship's engineer, looked up from his panel. "Captain, we don't know what we'll find. It could be dangerous. The Galactic Union won't like it if humans interfere." Aaron shook his head. "Kyle, they are dying. That is enough reason. No law in the galaxy says we have to watch someone suffer. Plot the fastest course." Megan Price, the biologist, looked thoughtful. "If we reach them, we need to be ready. They might be sick, weak, or even hostile, but someone has to try." The crew worked quickly. The engines hummed as the ship adjusted course. Stars stretched into long streaks outside the window as the Aurora Dawn jumped into faster-than-light travel. Meanwhile, in the dark, cold halls of the Lumerian ships, hope stirred for the first time in a long time. Eri felt it. She did not know why, but something in the signal felt different. Someone had heard them. Someone had come. Days passed. The human ship traveled closer to the Lumerians. The crew prepared for the worst. Aaron stood in the bridge, staring at the navigation screen. "We don't know what we'll find," he said softly. "We don't know if they will even survive until we get there. But we can't leave them, not now. Not ever," Laura nodded. "I've never seen you so quiet, Captain. You really feel this, don't you?" Aaron smiled faintly. "I feel what any human would. If we saw someone in danger and could help, we would. It's in our nature." Megan checked her medical equipment. "I hope we can help them. They might be weak or sick. We need to be ready for anything." Kyle, ever practical, added, "And we need to repair or upgrade their ships. They don't have much left." At last, the human ship arrived. The Aurora Dawn emerged from a cloud of dark debris. Before them drifted the Lumerian fleet. The ships were battered, broken, and quiet. Hulls were cracked. Engines had stopped. Lights flickered weakly, barely enough to illuminate the interiors. Aaron and his crew boarded the nearest ship in a shuttle. The air was stale. Metal groaned under their weight. Children clung to their parents, wide-eyed, terrified. Their eyes reflected fear, hunger, and disbelief. When the human spoke to them, Eri froze. She had never heard voices like this. Who are you?" she whispered. Her voice was small, uncertain. "I'm Captain Aaron Brooks," he said softly. "These are my crew. "We're here to help." The Lumerians looked at them in disbelief. No one had ever come to help before. No one had ever cared. Aery's mother, Lena, stepped forward cautiously. Why do you care?" Aaron looked at her calmly. "Because someone should. Because if we don't, who will?" The humans set to work immediately. Megan began checking the health of the weak and sick. Kyle and other engineers started repairing the engines and power systems. Laura worked on communications, trying to stabilize the fleet's connection to the galaxy. Slowly, hope grew. The Lumerians did not know how to respond. They were afraid. They were cautious. But no one had ever been kind to them like this. No one had ever helped them survive. Aery followed Megan around, asking questions. She watched the humans work, curious and fascinated. She saw that they were different, not like other species who had ignored her people. These humans risked themselves for strangers. These humans had no reason to help except that it was the right thing to do. Outside the ship, distant stars burned silently. The Lumerian fleet was still fragile, still broken, but for the first time in centuries, it felt alive. Aaron stood in the middle of the main hall of the Lumerian ship, watching as children laughed quietly and adults worked alongside humans. "They have nothing," he said softly, "but they have courage, and now they have a chance." Laura placed a hand on his shoulder. "They will survive because we are here. That is enough." But the galaxy would not ignore this for long. As the humans helped the Lumerians, sensors detected approaching ships. Patrols from the Galactic Union had noticed the unusual activity. They did not come to help. They came to warn. Aaron looked at the approaching fleet. He did not fear them. Instead, he felt determination. "We will protect them," he said quietly. "No matter what." The Lumerians watched, unsure what would happen next. They had known only fear and rejection. Now they saw something new. Courage, kindness, and determination. Something they had never thought they would see again. Aery held her mother's hand tightly. She did not understand everything, but she knew this. Someone had finally come for them. And that was the beginning of a change that no one in the galaxy would forget. The humans had docked with the largest Lumerian ship, a vessel that had once been proud but now looked like it had survived a dozen disasters. Its hull was cracked in many places and the lights inside flickered like weak stars. The smell of metal and stale air filled the corridors. Captain Aaron Brooks stepped carefully onto the ship. Lieutenant Laura Bennett followed, scanning the walls and ceilings for damage. Kyle Turner carried a toolkit, and biologist Megan Price brought portable medical equipment. The crew was ready for anything, though none of them had seen a race like this before. Inside, the Lumerians moved slowly. Their bodies were thin and fragile, their limbs long and delicate. Children clung to their parents, trembling. Adults looked at the humans with suspicion, fear, and curiosity all at once. None had seen a human before, and the stories about humans in galactic history were vague and often exaggerated. A young Lumerian girl named Aery watched the humans closely. Her large dark eyes reflected both hope and fear. Her small fingers clutched the edge of a console as she tried to understand who these strangers were. "Please," said a quiet voice. It was her mother, Lena, stepping forward. "Why do you come for us?" "No one else ever has." Aaron looked at her steadily. "Because someone should. Because we will not let anyone suffer if we can help them." His voice was calm but firm. No one should be abandoned. The Lumerians whispered among themselves. They had been ignored for so long that it was hard to believe anyone would help them. Yet here were humans, risking their own safety to save them. Megan knelt beside a small child, checking her breathing and temperature. "They are weak," she said softly. "Some are malnourished. Some have infections that could have been treated years ago, but we can help." Kyle examined the ship's broken engines. "I can get some of these systems working again," he said. "They won't be fully restored, but at least the ships can move under their own power." Laura worked on the communication systems. "If we can boost their signal, maybe the Lumerians can reach other civilizations too. They deserve a voice." The humans split up, moving carefully through the ship, offering help wherever they could. They did not demand anything. They did not ask for permission. They only wanted to save lives. Aery followed Megan as she moved through the medical bay. "Why are you helping us?" she asked softly, her voice trembling. Megan smiled gently. "Because it is right. Because we cannot ignore someone who is in need. No one deserves to be alone." Aery thought about that. She had never heard words like that before. She had only known rejection, only known fear. She wanted to believe them, but she was not sure if she could. In the corridors, the sound of flickering lights and distant alarms made the human crew nervous. Their sensors detected movement outside the ship. "Captain," Laura said, her voice low and serious, "I am picking up unknown ships approaching." "They are coming fast." Aaron looked at the screen. The symbols showed several vessels moving toward them. "Union ships," he said quietly. "They are here to warn us." The Lumerians did not understand what a union was, but they felt the tension rise immediately. Some of them shrank back in fear. Eri grabbed her mother's hand tightly. Aaron turned to the Lumerians. "Do not worry. We are here to protect you. No one can harm you while we are here." The humans prepared for the arrival of the Union fleet. They did not have many weapons compared to the Union ships, but they had determination, skill, and a willingness to act. That made them dangerous in a way no one expected. The Union fleet hove into view, their ships dark and polished, designed for intimidation. A voice came over the comms. "Terrans, step away. These beings are not under your protection. Leave this sector immediately." Aaron did not hesitate. "We are not leaving," he replied calmly. "These beings are under our protection. No one will harm them while we are here." The Union commander's voice grew harsher. "This is a warning. If you do not retreat, we will take action. You are defying galactic law." Aaron turned to his crew. "They think compassion is a weakness," he said. "We will show them it is our greatest strength." The Lumerians watched in disbelief. They had expected humans to be weak and self-serving like the others in the galaxy. Instead, they saw courage, determination, and kindness. Inside the ship, the humans helped the Lumerians prepare for the worst. Kyle worked tirelessly to repair engines and power systems. Megan taught the Lumerians how to make clean water and stabilize oxygen systems. Laura strengthened the communication links, making sure their signals could reach distant parts of space. Aaron organized the humans and Lumerians together. "We are not fighting for power," he said. "We are fighting for life. We are fighting because someone must. Stand together and we will survive." Eri watched him. She had never seen a leader like this before. He did not shout or threaten. He only inspired. Slowly, she felt a small spark of hope. The Lumerians began to move more confidently through the ship. Adults followed the humans' instructions, helping children, repairing damaged areas, and preparing supplies. For the first time in generations, they felt a sense of purpose. Outside, the Union fleet continued to approach. Their ships were powerful, ready to fire if necessary. But the humans did not retreat. They had made their choice. The Lumerians would not face danger alone. Aaron stepped onto the main deck of the Lumerian ship. He looked at the approaching fleet. "They think we will back down," he said quietly. "They do not understand what it means to protect someone. We will show them." Laura stood beside him. "Do you think they will attack?" she asked. Aaron shook his head slowly. "I hope not. But if they do, we are ready. We will fight in the ways we can. We will fight with our minds, our courage, and our will to do what is right." Megan moved among the Lumerians, checking their health and encouraging them. "You are stronger than you think," she told them. "Even if you are afraid, you can survive. We are here to help you every step of the way." Eri clutched her mother's hand tightly. "Do you think they will really fight for us?" she whispered. Lena, her mother, nodded slowly. "I think, maybe for the first time, someone finally will." The humans continued their work. They repaired broken engines, strengthened air systems, and prepared defenses. They taught the Lumerians how to use their limited tools to protect themselves. Every small success gave the aliens a new sense of hope. As the stars shone outside the damaged ships, the humans and Lumerians worked together. They shared stories, food, and laughter. It was strange for the Lumerians, who had only known fear and isolation. But slowly they began to understand that these humans were different. "They care," Eri said quietly to herself. "They really care." Aaron looked around at his crew. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "If we can save them now, maybe the galaxy will learn something from us. Maybe others will see that strength is not in weapons or wealth, but in protecting those who cannot protect themselves." For the Lumerians, hope had returned. For the humans, duty and compassion had guided them to a place where no one else dared to go. And for the galaxy, the first sign of change was coming, though no one realized it yet. The Union fleet closed in, and the first challenge was about to begin. But the humans and the Lumerians were ready to face it together. They had formed a bond stronger than fear or law. They were no longer alone. And in the darkness of space, something that had been lost for centuries slowly returned. The belief that someone would come to help, that someone would finally care. The Union fleet hung like dark shadows against the stars. Their ships were large, polished, and armed with weapons capable of destroying the Lumerian fleet in minutes. They moved slowly but deliberately, blocking the Lumerians from escaping. Their mission was clear. The Union did not want humans interfering, and they did not want the Lumerians to survive on their own. Captain Aaron Brooks stood on the deck of the Aurora Dawn, looking at the fleet. His crew gathered around him, tense but focused. "They expect us to retreat," he said quietly. "They expect us to obey. But we won't. We cannot abandon them. Not now. Not ever." Lieutenant Laura Bennett checked the sensors. "They are coordinating their attack patterns. If they fire, it will be precise. We'll need to move carefully." Kyle Turner, always practical, shook his head. "Our weapons are weak compared to theirs. We cannot beat them in a straight fight." Aaron nodded. "Then we won't fight like they expect. We'll fight smart. We'll fight with what we have. And we'll make sure these people survive." The humans moved quickly to help the Lumerians. The small alien fleet was broken, their engines weak and their weapons non-existent. Kyle worked tirelessly with Lumerian engineers, teaching them to reroute energy and repair damaged engines. Megan trained the Lumerians to stabilize life support and distribute medical aid. Even Laura helped the Lumerians learn communication techniques to warn each other of danger. Erie, the young Lumerian girl, watched the humans with wide eyes. She had never seen anyone act like this. They were not asking for anything. They were not trying to control her people. They were only helping. Slowly, a sense of hope began to grow inside her. Aaron walked among the Lumerians, speaking softly to them. "You have courage. You are survivors, and now you have friends who will not let you fall. Stand with us. We will get through this together." The Lumerians listened. Some were still scared, but many felt a spark of determination. They began helping the humans, passing tools, carrying supplies, and preparing their ships. For the first time in decades, they were not helpless. They were part of a team. The Union fleet moved closer, their intentions clear. A warning shot passed near the Lumerian ships, sending shivers through their corridors. The aliens froze, unsure what to do. Aaron stepped forward. "Do not be afraid," he said. "We will not let them harm you. Trust us. Stay calm and follow our instructions." Kyle and the Lumerians worked to set up decoys. Broken systems were rerouted to create false signals on sensors, making it harder for the Union to target real ships. Megan organized teams to help the sick and injured move to safer areas. Laura coordinated the communication networks, sending messages between ships to keep everyone informed. Despite their fear, the Lumerians began to act with purpose. Children were moved to secure areas. Adults worked alongside humans, helping repair engines and strengthen life support. Slowly, their confidence grew. They began to believe that someone truly cared for them. Aaron looked at the approaching Union ships. "They think they can scare us into leaving. They think fear will make us give up, but it won't. Fear is something we can fight. And together, we are stronger than any threat they can send." The first shot came suddenly, a pulse of energy aimed at one of the larger Lumerian vessels. Kyle quickly rerouted the ship's damaged shields to absorb part of the impact. Sparks flew, alarms rang, and the Lumerians panicked. Aaron raised his voice. "Stay calm. Follow the instructions. We are here to protect you." Megan moved among the injured, applying emergency treatments and keeping everyone steady. Aries' mother, Lena, held her daughter tightly. "See," she whispered. "They are helping. They will not leave us." The humans acted with precision. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and in danger themselves, but they did not falter. They moved with intelligence, creativity, and courage. Their actions gave the Lumerians hope and a sense of strength they had never known. As the battle tension grew, Aaron called a meeting on the bridge. "We cannot match them in firepower," he said. "But we can use our minds. Kyle, can you create more decoys?" Kyle nodded. "Yes, we can confuse their targeting systems for a short time. It won't last forever, but it will buy us time." Laura added, "I can boost our communications so the Lumerians can coordinate their movements more efficiently. They need to know where to go and what to do." Megan spoke softly. "I will make sure no one dies from injuries we can prevent. Every life counts. Every person we save matters." Aaron looked at the Lumerians who were gathering near the main deck. "You are not alone. You will not be abandoned. Stand with us and we will get through this together." The Lumerians looked at each other, then back at the humans. Slowly they nodded. They had no choice, but they also had a growing trust. This was the first time anyone had ever risked themselves to help them, and they would not let fear control them. The Union fleet fired again, more accurately this time. Pulses of energy hit near the repaired ships, knocking out lights and causing sparks. The Lumerians screamed and ducked for cover, but the humans remained calm. Aaron shouted orders. "Kyle, adjust the shields. Laura, redirect the communications. Megan, check the wounded." The humans worked in perfect coordination with the Lumerians. The aliens followed instructions, moving children to safety and helping each other repair systems. Every small success gave them confidence. Ari stayed close to Megan, watching in awe as humans and aliens worked side by side. She had never seen cooperation like this. She had never known courage like this. Slowly, she began to understand what it meant to survive with hope. Hours passed. The Union fleet continued to circle, firing warning shots and trying to intimidate the humans and Lumerians. But each attempt failed to break their will. The humans' determination and the aliens' growing confidence created a bond that no enemy could ignore. Aaron turned to his crew. "They expect us to retreat. They expect us to surrender, but we will not. We are stronger than fear. We are stronger than threats, and we will show them that protecting life is more powerful than any weapon." The Lumerians began to move more confidently. Adults took tools and helped repair systems. Children helped by carrying small items and running messages. Even Ari contributed, following Megan's instructions and helping others stay calm. The Union commander, watching from a distance, frowned. "These humans, they are unusual. They are supposed to obey. They are supposed to fear us. But they do not. They are dangerous in their own way." Aaron heard the report from Laura. "They are observing us. They do not understand why we care. They think compassion is a weakness." Aaron smiled faintly. "It is not a weakness. It is our strength. They will learn that soon enough." As the first signs of night passed on the Lumerian ships, the humans and aliens continued their work. Every repaired engine, every stabilized life support system, every calm instruction given to a frightened Lumerian was a small victory. Ari looked out at the stars, thinking about her homeworld now gone, and the new hope that had come from nowhere. She had never imagined anyone would care enough to save them, and yet here they were, humans risking their lives for strangers. Aaron walked past her and smiled. "Keep helping," he said. "Every action counts. Every person we save is a victory." The Lumerians began to see something they had not seen in generations: courage, determination, and kindness. They began to understand that survival was possible, not because of power, not because of law, but because someone had chosen to care. The Union fleet fired another volley, closer this time. The Lumerians ducked, but the humans moved calmly, guiding them to safety and using decoys to reduce damage. Kyle rerouted energy through unstable circuits to create false signals, confusing the Union ships. Megan kept treating the injured, and Laura ensured every Lumerian knew where to go. For the first time, the Lumerians felt they were not helpless. They felt they had allies. They began to trust that someone had their backs. Aaron looked at the approaching fleet one last time for the night. They think this is a simple battle, but they do not understand the power of unity, the power of courage, and the power of compassion. That is what we have, and that is what they will never break. Outside, the stars shone on damaged ships and trembling aliens, but inside, hope burned brightly. Humans and Lumerians worked side by side, preparing for what would come next. Together, they would face the galaxy, and they would not be afraid. And in the quiet moments between alarms, Ari whispered to herself, Maybe we are not alone anymore." The Union fleet loomed ahead, cold and imposing, their ships forming a dark wall across the starry void. They had no interest in mercy, no desire to understand, and no intention of letting the humans or Lumerians continue their work. To them, the small alien fleet was a liability, and the humans were troublemakers. Captain Aaron Brooks stood on the main deck of the Aurora Dawn, watching the distant ships. His crew surrounded him, tense but focused. "They expect us to panic," he said. "They expect us to surrender. But we will not. These people are not just ships or signals. They are alive, and we will protect them. Lieutenant Laura Bennett checked the sensor readings. They are coordinating their attack. They are not bluffing. They will fire if we make a mistake, Aaron nodded. Then we don't make mistakes. Kyle, are the engines ready? Kyle Turner gave a thumbs up. Engines are stabilized. Not fully repaired, but enough to move and dodge. Megan Price adjusted her medical pack. I've set up triage areas on the main Lumerian ships. If anyone gets hurt, we can treat them quickly. Aaron looked at the fleet of fragile Lumerian ships drifting behind the humans. These people have nowhere else to go. If we fail, they die. But if we succeed, they will have a future. Eri, the young Lumerian girl, stayed close to her mother. She had watched the humans for days, learning from their courage and patience. Now she understood that they would fight not because they wanted glory, but because it was right. That simple truth gave her hope. The Union commander's voice came over the comm. Terrans, leave immediately. If you do not, we will take action. You are breaking galactic law. Aaron raised his voice, calm but firm. We will not leave. We are here to protect the helpless. You can fire if you wish, but we will not abandon them. A tense silence followed. The only sound was the soft hum of engines and the distant blinking of damaged lights on Lumerian ships. Then the first pulse of energy hit, striking one of the larger Lumerian vessels. Sparks flew, alarms rang, and panic surged through the alien crew. Stay calm, Aaron shouted. Follow our instructions. We are here to protect you. Kyle quickly rerouted the ship's damaged shields to absorb part of the impact. Megan ran to treat the injured, helping stabilize a Lumerian with a broken arm. Laura coordinated communication across the fleet, guiding each ship to safety as best as they could. The humans moved among the Lumerians, giving instructions, calming fears, and repairing systems. Every action was precise, careful, and deliberate. Every small success was a lifeline for the fragile fleet. Aaron addressed the Lumerians directly. Do not panic. You are stronger than you know. You can survive. We are here to help, and we will not let anything happen to you. Slowly, the Lumerians began to act with purpose. Adults took tools and helped repair engines. Children carried small items or relayed messages. Even Eri helped guide others following Megan's instructions. The humans taught them quickly, and the Lumerians learned to act with courage instead of fear. The Union ships fired again, aiming more accurately this time. Pulses of energy slammed into the fleet, knocking out lights and shaking metal walls. Lumerians screamed and ducked for cover, but the humans remained calm. Their voices gave instructions, their hands repaired systems, and their presence gave confidence. Aaron directed Kyle. Use decoys. Draw their fire away from the Lumerians. Make them waste shots. Kyle worked quickly, rerouting energy through unstable circuits to create false targets. Union sensors lit up with phantom ships, causing confusion and delay. Laura kept the communication lines open. Lumerians, move children and injured to the reinforced sections. Do not panic. Stay calm and follow instructions. Megan ran from ship to ship, applying emergency treatment and giving words of encouragement. You are strong. Keep going. Every life we save is a victory. Despite their fear, the Lumerians began to trust the humans. They followed instructions, repaired ships, and moved the vulnerable to safety. Every small action gave them confidence. They had never known this level of care before, and it was overwhelming but inspiring. Aaron looked at the approaching Union commander's ship. They do not understand compassion, he said quietly. They think it is a weakness, but it is our strength. They will learn soon enough. Hours passed. The humans and Lumerians worked together to keep the fleet alive. Every repaired engine, every stabilized life support system, every calm instruction given to frightened aliens was a victory. The Union fired intermittently, but the humans' clever tactics and the Lumerians' growing cooperation made each shot less effective. Eri moved carefully through one of the damaged corridors, helping carry supplies. She glanced at Megan. I never thought anyone would care enough to help us, she whispered. Megan smiled. Sometimes the right thing is not the easy thing, but it is always worth it. The Union commander, observing the resistance, frowned. These humans, they are not like other species. They do not fear us. They act with purpose, protecting the weak. They are dangerous in a way I did not expect. Aaron heard Laura's report. They are questioning us. They do not understand why we care. They cannot accept that compassion can be strength. Aaron smiled faintly. Let them learn. They will see it today. The next attack came stronger, with multiple pulses hitting the Lumerian ships. The humans acted quickly. Kyle used the decoys again, drawing fire. Megan rushed to stabilize the wounded. Laura guided ships through safer routes, weaving between debris. And Aaron coordinated it all, calm and confident. The Lumerians began to act with determination. They helped repair engines, move injured people, and distribute supplies. Even those who had been terrified now moved with purpose. They realized that courage was possible, even in the face of overwhelming danger. As the night passed, the humans and Lumerians grew closer. They worked as a team, relying on each other. Every successful repair, every life saved, strengthened the bond. Aaron walked among the Lumerians, speaking softly. "You are survivors. You are brave. And now you have allies who will not let you fall. Stand with us. We will get through this together." Ari looked at him, hope shining in her dark eyes. "I think maybe we are not alone anymore," she whispered to herself. The Union fleet fired one final volley for the night. Sparks flew across metal walls, alarms rang, and panic surged. But the humans guided the Lumerians calmly. They moved children and the injured to safe zones, repaired shields, and used decoys to confuse the attackers. Aaron addressed the Lumerians. "Do not fear. You are strong. You can survive. We are here, and we will not let anything happen to you." Hours later, the first signs of dawn appeared in the distant stars. The Union fleet had retreated slightly, confused by the humans' tactics and impressed unwillingly by their courage. The Lumerians began to understand something new. They had survived attacks, worked together, and trusted the humans. For the first time in generations, they had hope. Ari held her mother's hand tightly. "Do you think we can really survive?" she asked. Lena nodded slowly. "I think maybe we can, because someone finally cares enough to fight for us." Aaron looked at the fleet of fragile ships. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "We have shown them that fear is not the strongest force. Courage, unity, and compassion are, and we will continue to protect these people, no matter what comes next." Outside, the stars shone quietly. Inside, hope burned brightly. Humans and Lumerians worked together, prepared for the challenges ahead and ready to face the Union fleet again. Together, they were stronger than any law or weapon in the galaxy. And for the first time, the Lumerians truly believed that someone had come to save them, and would not leave. The Lumerians' fleet was battered but still alive. The Union had fired their last warning pulses, and their ships lingered briefly in the distance before retreating into the darkness of space. Captain Aaron Brooks stood on the deck of the Aurora Dawn, his eyes watching the stars. For days they had fought not with weapons but with courage, strategy, and compassion. Now, at last, a fragile peace settled over the abandoned fleet. Lieutenant Laura Bennett exhaled slowly. "They're retreating," she said. "For now, at least," Aaron nodded. "It's enough. They know we will not back down. They will think twice before trying this again." Kyle Turner wiped sweat from his brow. "We're lucky. The Lumerians are alive, and they're starting to stand on their own." Megan Price checked the triage units. "There are injuries, yes, but no lives were lost tonight. That's a victory." The Lumerians began to stir. Adults who had been afraid to move now helped repair engines and clean corridors. Children ran quietly, exploring the corridors under human supervision. Ari walked beside Megan, carrying small medical supplies to help her friends. Her large dark eyes shone with a mixture of curiosity and hope. Aaron looked at the young girl and smiled. "Do you see? You are strong. You survived this night, and it is only the beginning." Lena, Ari's mother, approached the humans. Her voice was soft but firm. "You risked yourselves for us. For strangers you barely knew." "Why?" Aaron looked at her. "Because no one deserves to be forgotten. Because helping those in need is the right thing to do. That is all the reason we need." The Lumerians whispered among themselves. They had never known a species willing to put themselves in danger for someone else. They had been abandoned for centuries, ignored by the galaxy, and now humans had shown them that compassion was not weakness, but strength. The next days were filled with repairs and preparations. Kyle worked tirelessly with Lumerian engineers to stabilize the fleet's engines. Megan trained them in basic medical care and hygiene. Laura ensured communication lines were strong, allowing the fleet to send messages and coordinate movement. Ari helped wherever she could, learning quickly from the humans. She watched how they acted, how they made decisions calmly even under pressure, and how they worked together without seeking recognition or reward. It was unlike anything she had seen in the galaxy. Aaron and his crew did not just teach. They inspired. Slowly, the Lemurians began to regain their confidence. They repaired systems on their own, learned to work as a team, and started to feel that survival was possible. The humans had given them more than protection. They had given them hope. One morning, as the repaired ships floated under the light of a distant star, a message came through the strengthened communication arrays. The Galactic Union had called a council to discuss the events at the Forgotten Rim. Aaron looked at his crew. They are talking about us now, not because they are impressed by our weapons, but because we showed the galaxy what it means to care. Laura raised an eyebrow. Do you think they will change? Aaron shook his head. Some will. Some will never understand. But others who see what we have done here may begin to question the way they treat the weak and abandoned. That is enough. The Lemurians gathered on the main deck, their eyes wide. Ari turned to Aaron. Will we be safe now? Aaron smiled. For the first time in generations, yes. You have survived. You have allies. You have a future. And we will continue to protect you until you are strong enough to protect yourselves. Lena placed her hand on Ari's shoulder. We have hope again, she whispered. We have life again. Over the next weeks, the humans worked with the Lemurians to find a permanent settlement. Using the repaired engines, they explored nearby systems for safe planets. They selected a small green world with gentle rivers, forests, and open spaces, a place where the Lemurians could rebuild their lives without fear. Aaron and his crew guided the fleet there, helping the Lemurians establish shelters, purify water, and start gardens. Megan taught them to grow food, Kyle helped build power systems, and Laura set up communication networks so the Lemurians could remain in contact with the wider galaxy. The Lemurians began to flourish. Children played freely in open spaces for the first time in their lives. Adults worked together to rebuild their society. Ari ran through meadows with other children, laughing for the first time. The humans watched quietly, knowing that they had done what the galaxy had failed to do for centuries. One evening, as twin suns set over the new settlement, Aaron stood with Ari and her mother. The sky was golden, the air fresh, and the Lemurians were at peace for the first time. You saved us, Ari whispered, looking up at Aaron. Aaron shook his head. We didn't save you. We just reminded the galaxy that someone cares. You saved yourselves by trusting and standing together. Lena nodded. But you gave us the chance to survive. You gave us hope, Aaron smiled. And that is all any of us can do. Help each other. Stand together. Protect life when it is in danger. That is what makes us human. Word of the humans' actions spread across the galaxy. Other species began to question the Union's harsh policies, wondering why no one had helped the weak and abandoned before. The humans had not only saved the Lemurians, but they had also shown that courage and compassion could challenge centuries of indifference. The Union fleet did not return. The humans' determination and clever defense had made it clear that interfering with life-saving efforts would not be tolerated. And the galaxy watched. Months later, the Lemurians celebrated their first harvest. Gardens had grown, shelters were solid, and children laughed freely. Aaron and his crew joined the celebration quietly, watching the fruits of their work. Ari ran to Aaron and hugged him tightly. We will never forget you, she said. Aaron smiled. Nor will we forget you. Remember, it is not just humans who can protect life. One day you will teach others the same lessons we taught you. You will stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. Lena watched the humans, her heart full. You came when no one else would. You risked everything for strangers you did not know. That is something we will never forget. The sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to appear. The Lemurians looked up, imagining the countless worlds beyond their own. For the first time, the future seemed bright. They had survived not because of wealth, weapons, or allies in power, but because someone had chosen to care when it mattered most. Aaron turned to his crew. This is why we explore, why we fight, and why we protect. Not for glory, not for reward, but because it is right, because someone has to be the first to care. The humans boarded their ship, preparing to leave the Lemurians in peace. The aliens waved, their faces full of gratitude and hope. They had learned something the galaxy had long forgotten, that courage and compassion could protect even the weakest, and that one species could make a difference. As the aurora dawn lifted off, Ari whispered to herself, looking at the humans disappearing into the stars. They came when no one else would. They showed us that life is worth protecting, and because of them, we will survive. Aaron Brooks watched the settlement fade below, feeling the quiet pride of a mission accomplished. They had stepped into the darkness where no one else dared. They had protected the weak. They had reminded the galaxy that even in a vast, indifferent universe, kindness and courage could change everything. The Lumerians were safe. The humans had proven their strength not through war or conquest, but through the most powerful force of all, the will to protect life when it mattered most. And the galaxy would never forget that the humans had come when everyone else had ignored the abandoned, forgotten race. For the Lumerians, hope burned bright. For the humans, their hearts were full. And for the galaxy, a new lesson had been written in the stars, that courage, compassion, and the choice to act could change the universe.